We live? Are we live? I think we're live. Alright. I think we're live. Yeah. Okay. So hey everybody. Sorry I couldn't finish the coverage of the severe weather last night. We had a lot going on. Um, it really got going as soon as I got off, but I just really could not go that long. So we're gonna take a look at some storms we have going on currently, and then we're gonna take a look at some models and look at what type of severe weather we're gonna get today. So currently, these storms here are what's left of the storms that we had last night. So this is currently for 40-mile-per-hour wind and half-inch hail. I don't think we have any severe thunderstorm warnings. Yeah, it's pretty calm right now, but I just wanted to go over what we can expect. Also, we have a big flooding threat coming to the northeast today. We already have quite a few flash flood warnings out there. You can see that's moving up in this general direction. I'd watch out for a big flood threat if you live in any of these areas from this rain. And then down here to the south, probably much more with severe weather that's going to happen today. But we'll get into that later. Alright, so I'd watch out for a flood threat there in the northeast. But only strong storm we have right now is this one out here south of Nashville. Might have some more storms firing up south of Clarksville in this general area here. But yeah, the main thing I wanted to do in this video is going over the severe weather threat for today. We'll get into that in 1 second here. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay. Alright. So I thought we gained 3 subscribers from my stream last night, but because we got up to 928, and then this morning I saw we went down to 925. So yeah, looks like we got some new storms firing over here. Strongest ones seem to be east of Memphis. But main thing we're doing today is just doing a quick live stream going over what we could expect for severe weather today. So we'll head into some models. First we'll cover the northeast. uh, with the severe weather down here. Okay, so we'll look at the newest run here. Alright. So currently, we may have a storm or two firing up, out there, east of Baltimore, west of Dover, that general area. Then as we move into 11, we'll have more storms starting to get widespread, including this large area of showers and thunderstorms creating a big flood threat over here by Pittsburgh. And then as we go to 12, those storms will start to strengthen over here. And then we'll continue. And this is where our main threat will start. It'll form off of these storms that we already have over here. Then right here, we'll get a lot of new storms starting to fire. A lot of new storms starting to fire up and down in here. This general area. And then as we continue, you can see a lot more storms starting to fire. And that will eventually push its way this way. And as we continue until 7 p.m., we have a nice line stretching basically scattered from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, all the way up to New York City. So definitely a big line of damaging winds that I'd be watching out for. And then as we move into later, you can see that damaging wind threat really expands here and definitely intensifies as it's heading off the coast. This will probably be around the peak of our severe weather, around 8 p.m. And then at 9, it's also strong. Wouldn't rule out some gusts of 80 miles an hour right here by Atlantic City. And then it starts to move offshore. And I'd say by about 12, the main threat is gone. And then after that, not really much. Possibly a little severe threat tomorrow. Now we're going to go over models for our big flooding threat. That's up here in the Northeast. But first, I'm going to see if we have a flooding outlook. They make those, or we have 2 slight risks. This one in the Northeast has a 5% tornado risk, so that's pretty bad. Not too bad, but decent risk. Yeah, here's the excess. Wouldn't be surprised if that got extended up here. Definitely wouldn't be surprised if that happened. Big fun threat down there, though. Make sure to tune in. We're going over our outlooks for today. Now we'll do the model for the flood threat. So we showed you down there for the flood threat. So I'm actually surprised you don't have more of a flood threat up here, according to this model. You can see, we'll move up. Really really strong area. I don't know why we don't have that excessive rainfall pushed up even just in this general area here. Because look at this pocket here of heavy, heavy rainfall. Right here is probably where there would be the biggest flood concern for today, especially in, you know, these areas, probably like right there. Say biggest flood threat might be in there. Possibly a little localized area, like right in there. I only say this because you see this little line right here? We're gonna have this like big line trailing. So that could be a problem. But as we move forward here, continuing, yeah, well, look at all that rain up there. I'd be surprised if we got a more excessive rainfall outlook. Well, now we can go over the outlook for today. We'll go Storm Prediction Center. Take a look here. We'll start over here. So you can see over here, we have a 5% hail risk. So that basically means there's a 5% chance of hail hitting your location in a 25-mile radius. Then we also have a 30% wind. Now, if this was SIG 1, which means it was hatched, we would have an enhanced risk of severe weather, which I would not rule that out. I think that's still a very high possibility, and I actually think there's a higher chance of getting that than not getting that. So 30% SIG 1 wind risk, and then we also have a 5% tornado risk, which is higher than yesterday. Yesterday probably could have been a 10% tornado risk. I mean, yesterday probably could have been a 10% tornado risk. So yeah, join in. We're going over the latest outlooks for the severe weather today. What to expect for Dover? Yeah, of course. So you are in a 5% tornado risk. You also have a 5% risk for hail, 30% wind, 5% tornado. So definitely gonna get some decent storms. Definitely gonna get some decent storms in your area. Like I said, I wouldn't rule out enhanced risk. If there was an enhanced risk, it would most likely be where this red area is if we got a hatched. So I'd likely say if we were to get one, it'd likely be, and I also think that might get extended to the south in that general area if we were, or it could just be in this red, either one. But yeah, so you definitely got a threat for severe weather, so that's a threat over here. You also have another threat over here, so double slight risks. This one is bigger, but the threat's definitely smaller. But the hail threat is definitely big over here. So we got a 15% SIG 1, so that's very significant. We have a 5% hat, 5% SIG 1 wind, so that's also very significant. Then we have a big 2% tornado risk. I don't expect the tornado risk to be very bad today, but just watch out for any brief spin-up tornadoes in any supercell that we would get today. That's pretty much all for what's going to happen today. I can go over a model for this risk over here. Then we'll probably end stream. So you see, got some supercells firing up more. or maybe just not the biggest threat. Right around here seems like it's the biggest time frame, and it's not really too much. But if one of these could get going, it definitely could produce a brief spin-up tornado. That definitely cannot be ruled out in these storms here today, over here. But if nobody has any questions, I'm probably gonna end the stream. Um, if anything gets going later, we'll definitely hop back on, which I'm sure we probably will maybe be live later. Not sure though. But if anything goes crazy, I'll probably be able to go on. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for another good stream. And thanks for everybody who's subscribed to my latest streams. Thanks for everybody for being here for my streams. This is only my second day of streaming. So I hope to continue this and hope to make more people be informed with severe weather and not be as scared as they are. That's my main goal. For this to get out to people and help them understand what is going on with the severe weather and how significant it could be. Not to be worried, just to understand just to understand it more, so you're not as worried. If nobody else has any questions, I'm gonna end stream. All right. Looks like nobody has any questions. Thanks everybody for tuning in. This was a great stream, and